Hello, hello.
Let's
Good
see, here we
evening,
go.
all.
YouTube
Are we
video.
live? Are we live? Are we live?
I get the feeling we're probably not.
No, we're live. We're live. We're live.
Let's
We're
have a
live.
look.
Yeah. Snafus galore going on.
Yeah.
Hobbit can't join us at the minute. As soon as I can get my phone working, if you keep listening, Hobbit. As soon as I get my phone working, I can open up a StreamYard room and we can do it from there. But I'd like
Cool.
to take
hopefully
this
Hobbit
opportunity
will
to say
be.
fuck Google and all their demonic works.
And fuck the police.
Make everything so fucking complicated.
Yeah. Well, but it's good to be back. So what we got. So we're going to cover toilet ghosts tonight. In particular, Japanese toilet ghosts. So it should be good.
Yeah, so I take it we don't have British toilet ghosts.
I'm unaware of such a ghost.
That's why we've got to do the Japanese toilet ghosts, because they do the haunting that lazy British toilet ghosts won't do.
Well, there's 6 pages worth of toilet ghosts in the Fortean Times, so you say.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, though, Candyman, which was inspired by the Purple Aki from Liverpool, he did. If you watch the Candyman film, he does actually destroy a young boy's genitals in a toilet. So that's kind of along those lines, isn't it?
Didn't he kidnap the kid from a toilet?
I'm not sure. I think the kid goes into the toilet.
I thought that was the kid he kidnaps and puts in the bonfire.
No, that's at the end. This is early on when she's investigating the mystery, and she goes to the ghetto.
Yeah, you know what ghetto the original story was in, don't you?
It's the gay scene in Liverpool.
Liverpool.
No, but it's actually based in the gay scene because Clive Barker he is gay, and Candyman wasn't. He didn't base it on. Oh, he was based on Purple Aki, but not in the same way that it was in the film, which is kind of like an ex-slave or something, isn't it?
No, it was actually a white guy. It was actually a white guy in the book. It was in the.
In the book, yeah.
It's in the book. It was quite like 6 books of blood.
It's in the book. It's like a tramp, isn't it? It's like a very.
He's like a tramp that puts razor blades in sweets.
He did base it on Purple Aki, not in terms of because he's a black guy, but because because of his sort of kind of elusiveness and his in the gay scene in Liverpool at that time. Yeah. That's what it was. So yeah, it's pretty good. But no, I enjoyed the first Candyman. I've not seen any others. I've heard they were a bit shit, but that's usually the case. Set in 1990, so there's people smoking and stuff in the film. It's pretty good, isn't it? So yeah, good stuff.
So, do you want to know about many cultures have traditions of toilet adjacent spirits, but Japan boasts more than most. Laura Moro, I think that's Moro.
Laura Moro
explores haunted toilets in Japanese culture, a tradition that stretches from classic folklore to post-war urban legends and contemporary films and computer games.
If she was in Viz, she'd be Laura Mora, the toilet explorer.
Yeah.
There you go. And I'm on echo at your end. I hope the viewers can hear that.
Hold on, give me a sec.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
With
tech problems,
technical snafus, I've been my mind's been on other things rather than sound quality.
But no one is surprised, so it's just part of the course now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
or part of the course, or whatever the saying is.
Part of the course.
I don't fucking know, whatever. Something like that. But anyway, carry on with the Laura the Explorer and the toilet.
Dora the Explorer. So Dora the Explorer. Obviously, there's going to be some impeccable pronunciation in this. Kitakami City, Japan, 1948. An elementary school student.
I was going to say Shitakami City if it's toilet toilet. You carry on with the story. I'll come in with the odd gag like that.
Shitty Kaki City, Japan, 1948. An elementary school student enters the school bathroom alone. Her friends are waiting for her outside. It's a beautiful spring day, and her lunch period is almost over. A row of empty stools line the back wall. She heads to the furthest stall, intending to be quick. As she does, a soft voice emerges from behind the half-closed door of the third stall. It says, "Hankano-san of the third stall."
Watch it, you're getting into Hobbit territory there.
He could have done a pun there, couldn't he? Could have said stall instead of stall, couldn't he?
I thought you did say stool.
No, he said stall.
No.
Stall. It's stall, not stool.
Stool.
This is, of course, quite impossible. The toilet is empty. The stall door ajar. Well, it's not ajar. It's a door, but it's slightly open. The girl. It'd be silly if the door was ajar, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be much good, would it? You'd be able to see through it.
I don't know. I'll ask her.
The Germans would like that, wouldn't they? Glass door on the front of the toilet.
Glass toilet. Glass coffee table, isn't it?
They do like a coffee table. The Germans do, don't they?
Yeah. Bit of scat for us all.
The stall door ajar. The girl can plainly see nobody is there, but the voice had been unmistakable. Perplexed, she approaches the stall, tentatively pushing back the door. Surely it must be a prank, the perpetrator hiding just out of sight. But there is nobody, only the ceramic squat toilet set into the floor of the stall. Stall, not stool. The girl chalks it up to her imagination, but she can't seem to shake her sudden sense of unease. Anxious to escape that eerie voice, she turns to leave, but as she does, a pair of bone-white hands reach from the bowels of the toilet, grabbing the poor unsuspecting girl and pulling her all the way down to hell.
Really?
That escalated.
So that's what happened?
Yeah, she got dragged down to hell. Really? So who's telling the story? How did they know?
Yeah, I'm not sure that's, there should be some element of reality to this.
Well,
that's
if the ghost had gone now and then, and the girl had disappeared, we'd understand, wouldn't we?
If they were bone white hands, yeah. Also, where was the girl grabbed? If it was a guy, it's obvious. You could be pulled down. There's a natural, appendage to do that. But
yeah,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that.
Might have been Donald Trump grab her by the pussy.
Well, what year did this happen as well? This is not. This doesn't sound. This sounds a bit like a Ring. Pardon the pun. But the Ring. With the video, piece. The Ring piece.
Yeah.
But that would be that's an urban myth, isn't it?
The Ring piece.
Video. You watch the Ring. You watch the video, and you end up dying or something like some shit like that. But yeah, that would be a good sequel though. The Ring 2, the Ring piece.
Yeah.
They get you from the toilet. Excellent. Right there. So that was the first story, was it?
That's the first story.
Hakano-san
of the toilet. So goes what many to believe the first recorded version of Toyo no Hanako-san, Hanakano of the toilet, an urban legend which has been circulating throughout schools in Japan for over half a century. Eminent folklorist Miyoko Matsumi recounted this particular version in a Gendai Miniwa Ko, Modern Folk Tales. Has its own version like the Hanako-san legend, and like the spontaneous manifestation in the original tale, the most modern versions stipulate that Hanako must be summoned in a ritual reminiscent of Bloody Mary, the West's own legendary toilet ghost. To summon her, one must step into the girls' toilet, usually on the third floor, and knock 3 times on the door of the third stall, reciting the phrase, "Are you there, Hakano-san?" If Hakano-san is present, she'll respond, "Yes, I am." What happens next depends on the version of the story. Sometimes the stall door opens, and the ghost of Hanako-san, a young girl in an old-fashioned red dress with a bob haircut, will reach out and drag you down in the toilet. In Yamagata Prefecture, the stool. How big are toilet holes in? Like, I can understand it in France where they use latrines.
No, they're big because they eat a lot of sushi, don't they? So
Yeah.
so they
You do big turds
yeah, they
when
need
you
to.
eat sushi.
They do, yeah. But so this one is this one gets dragged down the toilet as well, is it? So this seems I can see a common thread occurring here.
Yeah.
The first one got dragged down the toilet.
In Yamagata Prefecture, the stall is inhabited not by a little girl, but a three-headed lizard who eats the questioner. Yeah, not as fun, is it really? Like, little girls are way spookier, aren't they?
Or like a turtle-headed lizard. Right?
Ferret.
Which are like turtles.
A ferret's head.
I suppose King Kong's finger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
In Iwate Prefecture, it's a disembodied white hand. In Kanagawa Prefecture, a bloody red hand. In a version of the tale from Shimane Prefecture, Hakano asks unwary visitors to the bathroom if they'd like to play with her. If they say, this is real Jimmy Savile territory, this is, isn't it? If they say yes, she pulls them into the toilet. If they say no, the slighted Hakano cuts them to pieces. Damned if you do and damned if you don't. A common theme in Japanese urban legends.
The common theme is getting pulled in the toilet by something. So, well, there's been no toilet ghosts as yet. These are kind of urban legend types things, especially the one where you go to the third stall and knock 3 times. And what do you say? What thing do you say? You get to raise the ghost.
Which one? Bloody Mary.
I'll try it tomorrow. No, the one you just said, because I'm going to try it tomorrow.
You want the rhyme again, do you?
What I'm going to do, what's it called? Hakano-san.
Yeah.
Hakano-san. I'm going to do this in work tomorrow. I'm going to go to the third cubicle, knock on it, and say Hakano-san.
That's what we need.
It's the second floor, but my building only goes up to 2 floors, so it's going to have to do. And I'm going to try it tomorrow, and then the next time I'm on Fortean Words, I'll let you know what the outcome is. Just hopefully my boss isn't in this, and I'll get fired. But hopefully that's not.
Are you there, Hakano-san? That's what you got to say.
Are you there, Hakano-san?
Yeah. Are you there, Hakano-san?
Cool.
Yeah.
I am here. And then get pulled down the toilet. Right. Okay.
We'll just see your little shoes poking out the bottom.
Yeah.
Right, I'm still trying to sign into fucking. Jeez. Why does Google make everything like pulling teeth?
Well, what are you trying to sign into now? Sorry, apologies for the tech problems.
It's part of Google, so it's like, oh god.
Well, if we take a quick break from Japanese toilet ghosts, look at this then from the Daily Mirror on the 29th of May. Man takes wee and has his penis bitten off by 11-foot snake in toilet. So kind of sticking to the toilet theme of tonight's programme. So, Athaporn Make, 38, was attacked by a huge snake in the bathroom of his home in Kachaguso province, east of Bangkok. So it must be Thai, leaving him with severe blood loss. I'm not surprised. A man was left fighting for his life after suffering severe blood loss when a python bit him on the penis whilst he was using the toilet. He was attacked by the large snake in the bathroom. Okay, bloody blah. Right. Yeah. So according to reports, he reached down after feeling a sudden sharp pain, only to find the python's jaws clamped onto the tip of his genitals. In a panic, Athaporn called out for his wife and struggled to free him from the grip of the 11-foot serpent. Before losing consciousness, he managed to tie a rope around the snake's head and secure it to the bathroom door, preventing it from escaping. So, when he says he tied a rope around the snake's head, which snake was that then?
You wouldn't really want to do the wrong one, would you?
Exactly, yeah. Hopefully not the trouser snake. Emergency services quickly responded and transported him to hospital, where he was treated for significant blood loss. Footage from the scene shows the crew working to extract the python from the toilet's plumbing, even using hammers dismantle parts of the system. The snake was eventually captured, placed into a secure bag, and later released back into the wild, according to a local outlet, Bangkok News. Yeah. Authorities believe the python entered the home by swimming up through the pipes. Just months later, a woman in Thailand had her own terrifying encounter with a 14-foot python that emerged from her toilet while she was using it. Nearasat Sia Nepong, 38, managed to leap off the toilet just in time after spotting the enormous snake, narrowly escaping injury. The incident took place in Chonburi, where local rescue volunteers time. The team used hammers to break through the floor tiles, eventually discovering the snake hiding in a hollow space between the floor. Once extracted, the python was found to weigh around 20 kilograms and measured over 4 meters in length. Remarkably, Nirak told local media that this was not her first encounter with a snake, and she believes the same python bit her on the heel 3 months earlier when she was using the toilet. So there we go.
Now StreamYard's being a twat, so unless Hobbit can get some Discord working,
well,
up for Hobbit tonight.
Well, I don't really know what to do about this, but so what's the current situation with getting Hobbit onto the?
I don't know. He should be able to get straight in here, but I think it's because he's got a new account. I think he's got to wait 24 hours to. Hold on one sec. I'll be back in 1 sec. Hold the fort for a second.
Okay, so it's good. So there's some toilet stories, but as you know, we do like to look at the West murders on this channel as well. And I was having a weekend in Wales last week, and I picked up a copy of the Forest of Dean and Wye Valley Review, which has the headline "Sick Fred West display slammed." And so this is what it reads. The gruesome display of Fred and Rose West's House of Horrors possessions at the Forest of Dean Museum has been dubbed sickening. And it includes torture whips that were used to tie and kill victims. The serial killer's possessions, taken from 25 Cromwell Street in Gloucester, on a show at Little Dean Jail near Cinderford. So if anyone's interested in going to see
I'm
those,
going to private call you. I think I might be able to get Hobbit into a private call. Right, hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
Hobbit. So I should be able to. For fuck's sake. Right, Hobbit.
Hello?
How do we invite Ian to this?
Add people? You'd have to add him though, because I'm not. Is this? Oh, add friends to DM. Do you see that next to search?
Next to search. Can you do it or not? Oh yeah, I'll see it. Yeah,
no,
friends
because
to DM.
I've literally started 5 minutes ago, so no, I can't do any of this. Are we live?
We are live. It's me and you, Ian. If you're listening, add me as a friend, and then I can add you to this call, and then we can get going then. This is fun, isn't it?
I really enjoyed this. As the chat been saying, the Woodwoses are out in force tonight.
Oh God, yeah. OBS is being a dick. Hold on, Ian's still in voice. I've got to explain it to him.
Excuse me.
I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah.
Hold on. Do I have to exit this call?
Probably. I think you have to do group PM.
Yeah. But Ian's...
So
window, which includes artifact. Oh, here we go. Who we got
All
there?
right, I'm
then?
back. Right, what I need you to do
You
is I've
back.
added you as a friend.
I'm a friend, yeah.
Yeah, you've done that. Right then, so if I add you to this DM group, right? Add friends to DM. Did you accept my friend request?
Where is your friend request? I don't know what I'm looking at here.
So you go, you know the little icon at the top where your things are?
Direct messages.
Yeah, friends. Right, so yeah, so you DM, see at the top it says friends.
Hang on. Just looking now.
So can you see pending or something?
I can see I got direct messages.
Yeah, so across from next direct messages and down a bit, you'll see friends with a little man waving. Next column over. Near the top. So at the top it says find or start a conversation. Directly below that is friends. On the left hand side.
There. Hang on. I think my layout might be different to yours. Wait there. It might be different.
So you click on, you know the Discord logo at the top, direct messages. So you got that up so you can see all the DMs, yeah?
Kind of. Hang on a minute. I think my layout is different to yours.
Oh, okay.
Wait there. Hang on. I'll find it. Wait there. All I can see is direct messages. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Aha, I got it. Friends. Right, here we go. Friends, I got it. I'm there pending. Here we go. There we go. I've accepted it.
Cool.
Done it.
Right then. So now I need to open Hobbits in there.
Okay.
So add friends to DM. Create group DM. Right. So if we both leave here, I'll call you and then we can all join the call with Hobbit.
Is that Visage Hobbit? Oh, I don't know.
No,
yeah, right, then give us a call.
Yeah. So disconnect.
Oh, what a lot of fun, eh?
Right, I'm here. I think I've talked to Ian through it. I don't know if he knows.
Oh, that's YouTube. I was
Why
like,
did
why
it
am I
run
hearing
through?
this all over again?
Have I
Who fucking knows? Oh, I'm talking to you here, aren't I?
Yeah.
Well, I'll disconnect from this one and do it on the other one then.
Okay, then we'll do it the other one with Ian.
That probably works.
Yes, there we go.
Fingers
We're all
crossed.
We're all talking to each other. That's half of the show. That's half an hour of show we've managed to waste. We've done well.
Yeah. Are we
Oh,
live
I would
now?
like to thank the Woodwoses for bringing you this show today. Yeah. So here's the thing, right? I got like
Dom's taking the piss out of you, Ian.
Yeah. So I accepted a friend request and it was on the mutual server, and I just thought, oh, I recognise that name. And as soon as I accepted it, it said hi, and I said new name then, and then I get signed out of Discord. I'm like, oh no!
Password then, haven't they?
I forgot my password, and it's sent to.
Either.
What? No, I can't. So it's a bit. I was like, all right, I guess I've just got a new Discord account then. Well, that's fine. I didn't like any of those servers anyway.
Oh dear.
Are we live now then? Are we live
I guess
now?
I was just going to.
Tech support
Right,
is all done. So we've solved one
I
out
would
of
just
the
like to.
two tech support.
I'd like to thank the Hindus at Alphabet that runs Google and YouTube. I'd like to thank the Hindus at Discord.
StreamYard's not. Look, I thought, oh no, I'll do StreamYard and just invite Hobbit. StreamYard, no. Google kept me hanging. You know, wouldn't accept my password and all that bollocks. So finally get in, and it just goes, oh, StreamYard ain't working.
Yeah, because why would you expect any? I like how these services run 24 hours, 7 days a week, except for Thursdays at 7 p.m. British summertime.
That's when I have the time up. So you up with what I've been saying so far, Hobbit? You know, little girl. Hello,
So,
Uncle Sam.
yeah.
Are you in the toilet?
what you go to is you say, "All right, love," and she's like, "Yeah, I'm Japanese. I'll come to your second floor cubicle toilet in Slough," and then she'll, I mean, do disgusting things to you. I assume death by toilet paper cut is on the cards, right?
I'm sorry, Ian son. I do not come to Slough.
Maybe, but as it's haunted toilets, though, Hobbit, have you encountered a haunted sink?
So,
From your end.
I tell you who somebody would have encountered a haunted sink is there's this guy who makes drum and bass called Vengent, and people send him clips of various things making noises, and then he samples it into songs. And he's got this one of a squeaky tap, and I thought it was very good. It's like, what do you play?
Yeah.
The squeaky tap.
Well,
He's got one of a door which judders as it closes, and that makes a pretty good bass line.
I was cleaning my teeth this morning, and I thought, well, hang on a minute. I could do two things here. And then I thought, no, that's fucking disgusting. I'm not going to do that. But if you do the time and motion study, you would be out of the door quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like those people that drive 65 miles an hour in a 60. It's just like sooner or later you're going to be behind the arse of someone doing 50.
Exactly. It'll come back and bite you on the arse. Like that snake in Thailand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, oh, I'm going to have a shit today. I sure hope no snake bites me on the bum.
Yeah, exactly. But,
isn't this just more proof that Britain's the greatest country on earth?
Yes. But elaborate.
Well, you know, you don't have to pretend, you can literally just go for a shit and that's that.
I was going to say, you know, for those that aren't English, you have to be like given examples because you see it's implicit for us, but we have to explain. Like you see, in England, when you go and have a poo, you're not very likely to be. I have to use the YouTube euphemism here: graped or bitten on the bum by a python. Because there's some people, right? They go and relieve themselves, and that's when they get est in the aid. Oh no, effed in the aid. Sorry, there we go. I have to remember what these terms mean.
Yeah.
What we used to have in the 70s, though, instead of toilet paper, we'd have like grease-proof paper. I don't know if our older viewers remember this, but it was like tracing paper.
Everyone was.
Well, I don't think they have it these days, do they?
Yes, especially at schools, because that's what I remember of that time.
If you told kids these days, they wouldn't believe you.
You wouldn't. And also, no shit, there was this one time in school where we ran out of tracing paper because we were doing drawing and stuff. We actually went and got some of that toilet paper and used that. Did the job.
Yeah, but I don't think we ever had tracing paper at school. I think we only ever used to use ISIL.
But it didn't really clean the arse, did it? It just sort of spreaded it around a bit.
ISIL is also known as Badger's arse because it's rough as a. And you see, during school, it was a real gauntlet. You know, you drink from public fountains.
The American Indians have a name for it. They call it John Wayne because it rough, it tough, it take no shit off Indian.
It's funny because you see, it doesn't do the job, and that's very funny. No, it is the thing, right? You know,
Alphabet Cat tried blowing his nose on it one time, and mucus just stuck to it,
and it just went everywhere.
Yeah,
you'd have a better job just like snotting into your hands. I mean, that's how absorbed it is. Yeah, and the other thing as well, we had like public drinking fountains, but then AIDS came about. It's like, oh, sorry, we can't have public conveniences anymore because AIDS.
Well, it doesn't make sense.
Certain demographics think it's there for washing your ass or something, I suppose, don't they?
Well, yeah, you know, you don't want dysentery water, so these days we can't have nice things because people don't understand how to maintain and use nice things.
Yeah.
The drinking fountains weren't nice, were they?
Being able to like not carry a water bottle, right? In fact, that was the thing the other day. I went for a walk and I was like, you know what? I'm walking into town. I'm not going to carry a water bottle with me. I'm not like some diabetic that's got to have a sip every 30 minutes. And I got in town and I was just like, right, there's water here. and I had this hops-infused barley water, which was even better than a slight carbonation. It's a fermented drink, and we all know probiotics, prebiotics. Fermented food is good for you. So I had a couple of pints of that, and I'll tell you what, I felt really good after that.
Did you when you had this? Did you just walk into someone's house and start and drink it? And there were other people.
You might even describe it as a public house where one would exchange money for goods.
Yeah,
and you see, after I had my barley water, hops infused fermented probiotic drink, I decided to have a probiotic apple juice as well, which was slightly fermented.
And then have a fight.
Well, I went to the cinema afterwards to watch Mission Impossible Part 2.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, I thought it was quite a good film.
Yeah, was it good? There was one recently called The Ritual with it's about Exorcist, an Exorcist film. But I wanted to see that, but it was only on for a week, and then the film disappeared. So that was that buggered. So.
Well, I heard anyway, was it that remaked one?
Well, no, there's lots of different ones, though, aren't they? Like, what's his name? Russell Crowe did 2 last year. I thought the remake. There was one.
Well, that was a bit weird. That second one he did was like a parody one of the first one, wasn't it?
Yeah, you know what to expect, with these films.
I thought, it was very good. He's a famous exorcist. He played in that, weren't it?
The thing is, in an exorcist film, someone gets possessed by the devil, an exorcist comes along and exorcises them. That's what the story is. You're not going to get anything different to that. But, you can't, go into it, expecting something else. Oh, I thought it was pretty good, that one. And also
hang on, I just need to refute some of the calumnies in the chat. It wasn't a French ale, it was Cornish. And yes, Alphabet Cat, I did enjoy... I tell you what, Dom, I'm not saying Scientology's right for me, but it's certainly right for Tom Cruise.
And it was very much right for Ron Hubbard.
And Nancy Cartwright.
David Miscavige does all right out of it as well.
Who's that then?
He's the current leader of Scientology.
Oh, I bet he's got a couple of pennies to rub together then.
I think he's I think he's slightly shorter than Tom Cruise. I think that's why they get on, because they're about the same height.
Well, they see eye to eye. You're saying?
Yeah. So anyway, do you want to learn some more about Hanako? Hanako's origins are similarly fucking hell.
Similar.
That was a struggle.
Is Hanako the toilet ghost where if you say, "Oh no, thanks, I don't want any of the ISIL badges," she kills you with paper cuts?
I'm going to give it a go tomorrow in work.
Basically, if you pick the Andrex, you get dragged to hell. If you pick the ISIL, she chops you to ribbons with it.
I like the story of Japanese toilet ghosts. They're like, if you're very polite to me, I won't kill you. If you're slightly wrong, or you just say, "Oh, actually, can I have the shaman?" It'd be like, right, well, you value comfort over your life. You die forever, I guess.
Hanako's origins are similarly various, although we can be sure of one thing: her death was violent and unjust. I don't think you have a just violent death, really, do you? She might be the ghost of a young girl who was killed. It was killed in an air raid during the war, or a girl who suffered parental abuse, a girl who was bullied into taking her own life, or who was chased into the toilet by a pervert and murdered there.
What about the time where, Arnold says "Hasta la vista, baby," and then he shoots Iceman into a million pieces? I mean, that was violent and a just death.
Yeah.
I thought Arnold said, "What you talking about, Willis?"
Yeah.
No, that's somebody else, Ian.
That's another Arnold.
That's another Arnold.
There it is. It seems an almost infinite. I wonder. I want to know now if Gary Coleman went to a Diddy party.
Was he at the entertainment?
He's dead now, isn't he?
Dwarf tossing would bring a whole new thing.
What is your favourite role with Gary Coleman in it? Mine's Postal 2.
I've only ever seen it.
He's the voice of Crotchety the Clown, the must-have toy.
If I'm not mistaken, the girl in Different Strokes, she did a porno, didn't she? Is that right?
Was she a crackhead or something, wasn't she?
Yeah, and she was doing porno to pay for it. I think she died. And the other guy, Willis, he got banged up for selling drugs.
That's 'cause
And
he didn't know
Arnold
what he was
himself
talking about,
died.
did he?
Yeah,
Do you remember
Arnold
the
just
time
died.
Janet
Imagine-
Jackson got her tits up for the lads? That was a bit weird. They called it a wardrobe malfunction as well, which I thought was a bizarre euphemism.
It was an older Janet Jackson, and they were like round her waist, weren't they? Younger Janet Jackson, yeah, I wouldn't mind to look at those, but she was like getting
What,
on.
you wanted to see a National Geographics?
Well, just a nice firm pair, but when she got them out,
Dom
they were like.
says Diddy would
low
roll Gary
slow.
Coleman in baby oil and everyone would try and catch him.
Well, they could have rolled him down the hill like they do with the Gloucester cheese.
When they catch him, would they do dwarf tossing?
Oh.
Oh man!
I would have liked to have. I'm too old now, but I wish that's one thing I wish I had done is the cheese tasting. I would like to have
Ian,
done that.
you're only as young as you feel, and
No,
when
I
you
would
roll
break
down the
something.
hill, and that's
no,
the
I'm-
point. You're supposed
if
to
I
break
was-
something down. Wait.
Well,
do
yeah,
you
but
not remember
he'll-
that stunt guy
he'll-
from The Simpsons, Ian? Broken bones mend and chicks dig scars.
Yeah.
No.
Well, Ian, you're never going to win that wheel of cheese with that attitude.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do it now. I'm too old. But
you
if
got
I
to be in
was,
it to win it, Ian.
if I was younger, I would.
Oh, I'm too
Yeah,
old.
no.
Excuses, excuses.
Yeah.
Look, it's all downhill anyway. All you got to do is start rolling.
Well,
And
no,
you just...
not until you're about. Up until you're about 30, it's all right, isn't it? You can do anything, and you can break stuff and all that. But after that, it takes a while to heal, and then to the point where it doesn't heal, and it's like, oh shit! I wish I hadn't fucking done that cheese thing. That was stupid. Now I've got a limp for the rest of
Just
my
think,
life.
whilst you're in the NHS, waiting for your hip replacement, you'll have a big wheel of cheese to keep you going.
Yeah.
Which you'll
Yeah.
need, considering what the state of NHS food is.
Yeah.
Like, is there a thing where, like, with the NHS, where they just go, we got to treat these people worse than prisoners and pets?
Well, they don't want you staying there, do they? Thing is, the
Well,
I
food
got to
is good,
admit, yeah.
you'll stay there.
No,
It'll
the
be
food
like
is shit.
in a bit like Only When I Laugh. Do you remember Only When I Laugh?
Yeah, with James Boland. Yeah.
It's all
Somebody
all
went
about
to the anti
work dodgers, weren't it?
the anti-convalescent form of school. What's like the very worst shit we can feed you,
Yeah.
which still
Well,
legally counts as food.
The thing is, they don't put seasoning on it, do they? Because it's bad for you, so you don't get salt and stuff in hospital. Apart from the fact that
They
food's not
don't-
very
they
good.
don't-
season food.
But they don't put food on their food. I mean, there was like
You do, but it's shit though. I had a few hospital visits last year and had it. I thought,
Yeah.
the gammon looks nice today, so I went for that, thinking I was going to get a nice gammon and pineapple with chips like you get in the pub. But no, it was some kind of dry thing with shit boiled potatoes and no salt.
Well, that's what I had as well. I had like I thought they euphemistically
Wilson,
described it as
eyes on
shepherd.
toilet paper, absolute shite, pun intended.
Yeah,
In
I
fact-
had what that was euphemistically described as shepherd's pie. It was 2 boiled spuds and something which I think Hannah Canna would have seen in the toilet bowl. I
tell
took
you
one
what.
look at this and I said, "Look, I'm sorry. Look, I know you've just like removed my organs. I don't want to eat them." There was a
I bet
Marks
if
and
you're very
Spencer's
lucky, you can
down.
get your balls washed on the NHS.
There was yes, but there was a Marks and Spencers in the hospital, so I just
went for a
staggered
sandwich there.
I staggered my way there, and I bought some fruit.
But it's
I wasn't-
unfair, though, isn't it? Though, because they say, but when you go to the hospital and you see all the nurses and that working and that, and it's like people say, oh, they're just airheaded dolly birds and all that. That's just wrong. Most of them are fucking pigs. Oh, dear.
There is,
anyway.
it seems, an almost infinite supply of Hanakors. With her infinite points of origin, even her name speaks to the ubiquity of her presence. Hanako is a timelessly popular name for a girl who could conceivably originate from anywhere in Japan in almost any era. Hanako's story has been in circulation since the immediate post-war era, though it rose to prominence sometime in the 1980s. A fertile decade for Toshi Densu, or urban legends.
Has she got like long black hair over her face as she emerges from the TV?
Probably. Yeah, so
Is that her?
that bird from the ring, it was toilet water that was dripping off her.
ring piece.
It's unclear why exactly this was such a boom era for creepy stories. Although translator Zach Davison points to the 1979 panic surrounding the Kuchisaki Onna, the slip-mouthed woman, as a potential catalyst.
That's easy for you to say.
She is believed to be the malevolent spirit, or onyo, of brutally mutilated woman. The story allegedly began with a single sighting in Gifu Prefecture and quickly spread like a wildfire across Japan, mutating to something akin to mass hysteria. Even national newspaper Asahi Shimbun reported on the story.
I quite like that lager.
Asahi. Isn't that a beer?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I was thinking the same.
It is. I thought so. Yeah.
I wonder what Asahi means then. Reported on the
ball
story.
A ball saki is your testy.
Children were herded to and from school by paranoid teachers, and a woman was arrested in the summer of 1979 for wandering the streets with a knife, apparently to scare children with. By August, I think you're going beyond scaring children when you.
Yeah, that would scare me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this a bit like in RoboCop 2, where they're about to do dissection on the bent cop?
Yeah.
And then the whore turns to Kane and says, "I thought we were going to scare him." It's like, doesn't he look scared?
Pretty scared, yeah. Apparently scared children. By August 1979, with school children on summer break and therefore no longer serving as the vectors for infectious terror, the story had all but vanished into thin air. While dark alleys and streets may be standard settings for urban legends, the toilet is perhaps a less obvious location. Nonetheless, Hanako finds herself in rich contemporaneous company and of respectable historical pedigree. Take Akamanto, Red Keep, a malevolent spirit also said to inhabit school bathrooms, particularly seldom used ones, such as the older squat style toilets. What is a squat style? Do I want to know what a squat style?
It's a hole in the ground. It's
literally a hole.
It's a French style.
Yeah,
toilet, isn't it?
You get them in Asian countries. I can't see the point of them. I don't see what the issue is with having a normal.
I want to say it's one step above doing a poo in the field, but not really.
Basically, it's asking you to make
in the street, isn't it? I think.
Basically, it's asking you to make a mess everywhere. You know, because you've got to be pretty accurate with this. So,
imagine that. Imagine that. You got the squits, you splatter all the back of your shoes.
I know exactly. You know, it's going to go everywhere but the hole in the ground. But anyway. But and also it's in Asia, so you're more likely to get that there.
Yeah. Especially if they could just come back from India.
Well,
so such as the old squat style toilet. As in the original Hanako-san story, Akamanto appears unprompted, a disembodied voice which asks the unwitting toilet goer whether they would like blue or red paper. It doesn't much matter what they answer. Choosing red paper results in flaying, dismemberment, or some other violently bloody demise, while blue paper offers the unenviable alternative of strangulation, or else immediate exsanguination, leaving the body empty of blood. And if you don't think...
Well, I think 14 Times was pretty desperate for a story this month, I think, because we've yet to really have a proper toilet ghost, have we?
And I know you're a pair of clever fellas, so... And don't think you can game the outcome by responding with a trick answer or bringing your own paper. Akamanto will simply provide a different but equally grisly end.
Yeah, no loopholes for you, Mr.
No poop hole loopholes for you.
We could probably make a few quid if we contacted Peter Kay and told him about the tracing paper, toilet paper.
Yeah.
He'd have a field day with that, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Do you remember when you were in school and they gave you tracing paper to wipe your bum with? Do you remember things? I remember things.
What were all that about?
I remember things.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
You know, I'm Northern, and that's funny.
70s. Remember going to the toilet in 70s? What were all that about?
Do you remember when they had rolling blackouts?
You know the ISIL. You wipe your ass with it and it smears it everywhere. You know the ISIL. The eyes. Oh, it doesn't wipe your ass very well.
Donkey jackets with leather panel on back. You remember that? Remember clackers?
Clackers. Prawn clackers.
Do you remember things? Do you remember things that you're nostalgic about? Do you remember them? That's why you pay me money.
Do you remember
what were all garlic bread about? You remember garlic bread?
What, garlic?
Do
Do you remember
bread?
incandescent
Garlic bread?
bulbs? Do you remember when things were magnolia coloured?
Yeah.
Northern.
Not all
Do you remember when
versions.
people were happy and could smoke in pub?
Anyway,
I'm from Bolton. Yeah.
back to Akamanto. Akamanto.
Akabilk.
Akabilk.
I don't like
versions-
it.
it is.
I think his comedy's boring.
Hobbit, were you a big fan of Akabilk?
Well, you see, that you were talking about the previous ghosts and the one saying you can't do any of these legal loopholes.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that there's these demons in Japanese mythology called yokai, and if you've ever seen like depictions of them, they
That's
look
right,
like
but it's
some caricature
That's
of a
Not the
lawyer.
answer to the question there, Hobbit. Do you like Akabilk?
Yeah.
Oh, I never really was a fan of Akadu.
Okay,
No,
fair enough,
Akabilk.
okay.
Do you not? Do you know who Akabilk is? First question of it.
No, I thought it was that
Oh, shit.
song.
What was the instrument you used to play? Was it the clarinet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah. Listen
What
to
about
some
what about the guy who plays the clarinet and goes around feeling people's muscles? Purple Akabilk. Hey,
I
I
don't think that's a
hey, there.
real musician.
No, you
I
know,
think he only played the meat trombone, Purple Aki Bill.
No,
oh,
the meat-
in Liverpool.
the pork oboe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Port sword.
the spam
Yeah.
flute.
Oh,
Hey.
not all
The one-
versions
the
of
one
the
I-
Akamanto.
The one I
leg-
chose.
Go on
Oh,
then,
yeah, go
Ian. Finish
Oh,
off.
the
Ian.
one I chose the snake. But go on, carry on with that one.
Not all versions of the Akamanto legend are quite so violent. A version recounted by folklorist Matthew Meyer offers the alternative dichotomy of red or white paper. According to Meyer, choosing red results in red tongue rising from the toilet to lick the answerer's bottom, while choosing white summons a
Well.
disembodied hand, a motive which occurs not only in the Hakan Sono-san tale but far older stories. How about that then? Do you want a tongue up your bum or a ghostly hand?
Well, it
I was
sounds
just about
like
to say, you know how bad Neptune's kiss is, right? I
Yeah.
mean, that's even worse. I think my poo would just go back in my arsehole and like it's like, oh, I guess I'm never shitting again.
it sounds like a Native American proverb. We see red tongue rising from toilet. There you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
someone pooping.
Do you want the red? Do you reckon there's like another version of it where Akamanto goes? Do you want the red toilet? The red toilet where you die a bloody death, or the white toilet where I let you go? I'll have the white toilet where I let you go. Only joking. I'm going to decapitate you.
Yeah. Oh,
There's
jokes
no
on
win
you.
sit-
You
It's
wanted
a
to
no-win
live.
situation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, was that you wanted to live? I best kill you then.
I'm going to cut off your turtle head.
Yeah.
But this
Yeah.
still just gets worse all the time.
Yeah. Some sources suggest that the legend of Akamanto actually predates that of Hakano-san. Versions have been recorded far back as the 1930s. Oh no, not the 1930s. The manto of his name likely refers to a type of sleeveless kimono worn during that period. There is a third, somewhat more obscure toilet ghost. It also originates roughly from the post-war period. Kashima Reiko, the vengeful onyo of a woman said to haunt train station bathrooms. One version of her story suggests she was a woman from Hokkaido who was assaulted by an American GI and thrown onto the railway tracks. Her legless spirit accosts occupants of the stall, demanding to know where her missing limbs are. Upon receipt of an inevitably unsatisfactory answer, she will tear off the occupant's legs in retaliation. There is, however, a rare get-out clause. If the occupant answers the legs are on the Maishin Expressway, she will leave them alone. It is therefore the narrowest of margins that Kashima-san may be the least worst toilet ghost to be accosted by.
To me, just sounds like Japan needs some exorcists.
Um,
You don't have exorcism in Shintoism or Buddhism.
Hasn't a ghost story got to be slightly believable? Like, I don't believe that a ghost will rip someone's legs off. Like, I just don't. I don't know.
Well,
it just kind of like
You're
loses
talking
a bit.
about a post-war ghost story. This one, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the more contemporary they are, the more sort of realistic they're supposed to be, with more reliable witnesses. Maybe some of them are still alive, but we've not had that yet. So there's still hope.
Now, you see, I've been told that there's a ghost story set in England about this the ghost of a buxom barmaid in this old pub, like from centuries ago. And if you go and sleep in a certain room, she'll come over and fill you up, and you have ghostly sex with her. Now,
Give you a
if I was
ghost
cynically
tit wank.
inclined, exactly. If I was,
She'll go, what do you want, my lover? I'll just have a hand shandy, please. Oi, oi.
And you see, if you were cynically inclined, you'd be like, well, this is obviously some sort of cynical ploy to get in pervy punters to spend a night in a hotel they'd otherwise give a miss.
Yeah.
But you see, that's a very sort of dismissive attitude, and I'm inclined to believe this story because I like it. Whereas stories I don't like, I'm inclined to disbelieve.
Well, there's that one in Boughton in my neck of the woods where if you go down on New Year's Eve, there's like a fit ginger bird, and if you kiss her, you die.
Oh wow! Isn't that? I was going to say we can't use the that C word. You remember when we had the madness from a few years back? Because I think
I think they call it the plague now. I've heard some people call it.
Yeah, back during the plague times, you could. Oh fuck! There was you just mentioned something. I was like, this could lead to ghost stories, but I can't thread the needle.
The ginger girl that kisses you.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, you get so excited from the kiss, you die of myocardial infarction.
Do you think the ghost of the future will be? Oh, I just want to make the bed. I made the bed too hard when I was alive and died.
Oh no, I didn't believe in climate change, emergency Ebola AIDS, and
do you remember when Dan
I'm a
Aykroyd
ghost.
do you remember when Dan Aykroyd got a blowy in the PG-rated Ghostbusters film?
No.
Do you not remember? Do you not remember the bit where he's laying down in bed and it opens up his flies?
Do you know what's really weird?
Watch Ghostbusters again.
My sister's favourite film was Ghostbusters. It was she was obsessed with that film. She'd seen that more than I'd seen Terminator 2 because that was kind of my autistic obsession when I was her age. It was even to the point there was like a commemorative SD card edition of it, which I was tempted to buy for her, but she wasn't interested. I'd seen it like numerous times, and it's weird.
And you don't remember the flies when the ghost opens up Dan Aykroyd's flies.
Well, that's the thing. I never sat down and watched it all the way with her, and I don't remember. I definitely remember the bit where they're using the old hearse as their, or is it an ambulance as their ghostmobile?
When they smash up that hotel and then charge them as well, don't they?
Maybe that bit was edited. Maybe they edited that bit out for certain releases of the film.
Oh, TV. They might have they might have knocked it off for TV.
I've never seen Ghostbusters. Isn't it a children's film?
You've never seen Ghostbusters? He's most definitely like we said. Dan Aykroyd gets a blowy from a ghost in it, even though it's a PG.
Ian, I can thoroughly recommend you watch Ghostbusters 1 and 2. They are good films.
You can watch it, but the thing is, though, you cannot just watch it for like the comedy. You can also watch it for the effects, because it's those. I love those really old, like the Industrial Light and Magic ones, where it's like they must have done it underwater or something. You know, like the Indiana Jones ghosts and the.
I like the bit with the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. He's like rampaging through New York like a kaiju.
Yeah. Do you know the ghosts? You know the ghosts I mean, like the ones from Indiana Jones, where it looks like they're floating in water. I think that's how they do the effect, don't they?
I've not seen. I think I've seen the first Indiana Jones, because obviously all I really remember about that is Mr. Bronson is in it. Yeah. But apart from that, I don't pay much attention to things.
Mr. Bronson isn't in that one. I thought Mr. Bronson was in.
He's in one of them. I've seen. All I know.
Mr. Bronson was in The Empire Strikes Back as well, wasn't he?
Yeah. But the only memory I've got of Indiana Jones of watching it, I wasn't interested in the film, but I can remember watching it and thinking, "Oh, that's Mr. Bronson," and that's it. so that I can't tell you what it's about. Isn't he getting chased by a boulder or something? Yeah. But they do that in The Simpsons, don't they? Yeah.
So back when I was a wee lad, I couldn't tell my left from right. And I also, I'm grateful to the Temple of Doom because there's this mine chase scene. And Short Round says
And it
the
opens
left
your
one,
eyes
the
to
left
how
one.
good Indian cuisine is as well, doesn't it?
Well, that too. And then they take the wrong path down the mine, and that's how I know my left from right. So I would like to thank Short Round and
Oh.
Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom for telling me left from right.
I don't remember that bit, but I just remembered the bit where the guy gets the sword out and threatens him by swishing it around, and the Indy just shoots
That's
him.
a different film.
That's
Hobbit.
that one, and also
Hobbit,
the bit where
Dom's
the guy.
put the link to the Dan Aykroyd scene. Just watch it without the sound on, and see if you remember that.
Oh, actually, I do remember the ghost floating above him.
Yeah, and do you remember the next bit?
This bit got edited out of my yeah. That was not in.
That was not in the TV release.
No. I think it's like when RoboCop was on the TV. And it's like, oh, help me.
No, it's Fly Me, isn't it? You know, the bloke in the store that's shooting. He's going, fly me. Like, I wish you could buy on video the ITV version of RoboCop, because I would fucking buy that in a second.
I had this horrible, and it's not a Mandela moment. I literally I was watching the TV version of Demolition Man, and the weird thing is, I remember it was on ITV back in 1994 or something, and they did not say Pizza Hut. They said Taco Bell, but it turns out, when they did the English dub of it, they had the Sandra Bullock and Sylvester Stallone recast it, and they're saying Pizza Hut because the executives were like, well, we don't have Taco Bell in England yet, so what if we say Pizza Hut instead?
We need to flog these kids. We need to flog these kids some fast food.
It's like, look, I can understand that in America you got this thing called Taco Bell, which we don't have over here. It's fine. I know what a chili con carne is.
I know what a chili con carne in a flatbread is.
Yeah, that's literally it. It's just like, oh look, we put some lettuce with chili con carne and we put it in a wrap. Oh, that's very exciting. Thank you. Yep.
There are other fast foods, though. It's not just Taco Bell, so make sure the listeners are aware of that. We don't.
Oh yeah, Taco Bell, not a sponsor. Tubes.
Yeah.
Tacky Bell, I call it. Have you seen Greta Thunberg has been in the news as well, hasn't she, this week? Have you seen it?
Oh, she got her tits out.
No,
Well, I wish she had. Have you seen her? She's hot.
Got loads more stuff about toilet ghosts in Japan, don't you?
Oh, right, okay. I thought we'd done that. Go on, then.
To say that toilet ghosts are a uniquely Japanese phenomenon would be to tread the thin line of exoticization and incorrect. Besides, as the likes of Bloody Mary and Moaning Myrtle. Isn't Moaning Myrtle just from Harry Potter?
Again, I've not seen this. I know of it, but I've not seen it.
It is, however, intriguing to note that no other culture seems to have quite the vibrant and storied a tradition of bathroom spirits. I bet the Germans have got bathroom ghosts.
Well, they're more about glass coffee tables, aren't they?
Well, I don't know about.
That reminds me. I watched Armstrong and Miller the other day, and you ever seen Armstrong and Miller, Ian?
Oh yeah, it's good. Yeah,
you know the sketch. You know the sketch with the dentist where he's a bit too free and easy about his sex life with the patient.
Oh,
he comes out with his story where he goes to a hotel. He meets this German woman in a hotel, and he said, and there's the glass coffee table, and she goes over, squats over the glass coffee table, and he said, I didn't realise you'd taken the glass out. He said, I took one to the face.
I don't know of any stories of what's it called, of toilet ghosts in Germany, but I do know the time when there was this whole party of German nobles and they died in the cesspit.
Yeah, cesspits are pretty bad, aren't they?
Well, especially when your floorboards are a bit too weak for all this party jumping up and down on it.
You went a bit West Country there. You said, and then your floorboards.
Did you go a bit West Country, my lover?
I'm reverting to type, my duck. I,
Do you work on a farm?
I just start thinking about Leipzig and it brings out farmer in me.
What do you call a howling ghost in a bakery? A banshee.
Oh, a banshee. That's a good one. I was just like a profiterole geist. No, that doesn't work, does it? It's a bit...
Did you ever see the Reeves and Mortimer thing where they did a séance in a toilet and they were contacting someone who died in the toilet and they were doing a séance?
Elvis Presley.
Were they trying to contact Elvis?
But it wasn't Elvis. It was just a general thing, and they said, "Oh, do 1 plop for yes and 2 plops for no, and concentrate on not doing it like that." That kind of thing. It was a bit like
the time when Vic Reeves went to Gordon Ramsay's restaurant and asked for a fried egg sandwich, and then Gordon Ramsay was really angry, came out of the restaurant, and he was about to like kick him out, and it looked at one point as if he was about to rip his face off. And I
can understand it.
Well, you see, on the one hand, I don't like Gordon Ramsay, but on the other hand, I don't like Vic Reeves, and it's like,
well, I like Vic Reeves, but I thought on that occasion he was just acting a bit stupid, wasn't it? You're not supposed to be there doing that.
I don't like either of them, and I think, in the words of Harry Hill, only one way to solve it: fight. There needed to be a fight between those two.
There's not been a lot of Vic Reeves lately, but in the past,
have either of you two ever watched Vic Reeves' Rogues Gallery? Absolutely brilliant history series that is.
I think I've seen it, but wasn't it on one of the cable channels?
Yes, it was. Yeah, and it's
it was.
They don't have it on regularly either, which is a bit of a shame because it is a really good series.
It's on one of the rap singers, the rap singer, at the top of the pops.
The rap singers. They go up around the stage. They grab their willy. The rap singers.
It's on one of the cable channels. It's not the sort of channels where you would see the top of the pops, or the EastEnders.
You know the rap singers. They buy thousands of bottles of baby oil. The rap singers.
No, you see, the thing I heard about that, and I don't know anything about it, so I can't say one way or another, but they're saying, no, it's not baby oil, it's actually this drug called GBH.
Yeah, that's a date grape. That's a graping drug, isn't it?
Ice.
Well, I mean, alcohol's a grape rape drug. Okay, they nice euphemism there, Hobbit.
Grape ape drug. Do you remember Grape Ape, the cartoon character?
We're not allowed to say that anymore, are we? I'm sorry, I think this episode might be demonetized.
I don't think the amount of viewers not with 11 viewers, we wouldn't be.
I said grape rape a couple of times, but I think I got away with it.
I think you're right midstream. I think is it half hour from the start and half hour from the end? You have to behave yourself.
You would have got away with it if it weren't for those pesky monetarization kids.
Yeah,
I got away with it if it wasn't for the Polish. You started it. You invaded Poland.
So I'll take it you lads don't want to do the rest of the toilet ghosts.
Well, is there a good toilet ghost in there? Because at the moment we've just had some vague, knock on the door 3 times shit. If there's let's say in
2020, Research Institute Japan Toilet Labo conducted a study into toilet-based folklore across Japan. Their results were fascinating. 194
I like how this is a serious research institute in Japan. It's like, how nice and whimsical must it be when you live in the country where, like, well, we're doing all right as a civilization. Let's spend some money on seriously researching folklore around toilet ghost stories.
Their results were fascinating. 194 cases of ghosts and/or monsters associated with the word latrine, 50 cases associated with the modern word toilet, and a further 56 scattered across various old-fashioned Japanese words, all referring to a toilet of some kind. So, yeah, the toilet ghost is a pretty big... some would say a cottaging industry.
I'm listening to this.
I tell you what, though. One thing, though, if this is from Japan, they got all this toilet stuff going on. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if it's true, but couldn't you buy a pair of dual girls' panties from a vending machine or something like that? Is that right?
Isn't that
you heard that rumor? Myth? Well, it probably would. I hope so, but. That comes from Japan. That myth, doesn't it?
Well,
Yeah.
they're a strange country, you know. They you can buy the knickers in vending
They
machines,
do have a bit of
used
the
ones,
German in them, don't
Well,
they?
but can you
and
buy
also
knickers from vending machines?
and Nintendo, which is marketed as family friendly company, is just like out and out Yakuza, and it's like, oh, okay, you know, you just got Yakuza running this entertainment, which makes sense really because they're always associated with
Did you know?
gambling,
Did you know
pornography, and other entertainment.
belief in the Kawaii no Kami, the god of the toilet, dates back to early modern Japan. They've got some really like they're a bit obsessed with the toilet, aren't they?
God of the toilet.
Yeah.
Who the fuck has a god of the
That
toilet?
that was the Japanese do. When the typical toilet consisted of a privy built over a hole in the ground or above a river. Ah, beautiful.
Well, it still
Brings
does
a whole
by the
new
sound
meaning
of
to
it.
playing poo sticks with your mates.
You know,
It brings a whole new meaning.
Yes.
I think the
A
mythology
whole poo meaning.
of people can tell you a lot about them. I mean, with the Greeks, you see there's a lot of tragedy where they sort of fell from a great height, and with the English and the Irish, you can see that there definitely was a problem with reptiles of some shape or form, which it took a brave man to slaughter them all. And in Japan, it just seems like, oh yeah, you know, toilet ghosts. Why isn't there any like feel good story of toilet ghosts? Why isn't there like, oh, you know, I had some nasty bum grapes, but then the yokai uh, gently put them back in using a healing wind, and now the pain in my ass is
The
gone.
belief in the Kawaii no Kami persists into the present day. Japanese rental property website Hanakasu informs its readership that keeping their toilet clean will improve their luck both physically and mentally. Some Japanese
But yeah,
temples will sell ofuda, talismans usually made from wood or paper to hang in one's toilet, specifically to honour the god who dwells there.
I don't know. Sounds like some sort of money
If I'm
spinning
not
scam.
mistaken, actually, thinking about it, in the olden days, before tracing paper, toilet paper, didn't they use just newspaper? Normal newspaper. Yeah, they did, didn't they? They did. Whoever they are. But yeah, working
Them.
class people, I
Them.
suppose.
And if you
moss
told
if you can
kids
get
these
hold of
days,
it.
they wouldn't believe you.
So again, that's not
We
good.
don't
That's
even
just going
buy
to make
a
massive words,
newspaper
isn't it?
anymore. Like, I think the
1997.
last time I bought a newspaper was like early 2000s, and I bought like Le
Yeah.
Monde or something when I was in
I bet it
Lille.
was the Guardian, wasn't it, Hobbit? Yeah, it. You and James O'Brien. I bet it was the
Actually,
Guardian.
I used to quite
Yeah.
like buying the Times Sunday supplement because that's like
I was
that's
trying.
like
I was
a
trying to
week's
be.
worth. That's like a week's worth of papers. That is in the Times Sunday
I was,
supplement.
I was trying to be worldly, but yes, at Waterloo International Station or St Pancras, whatever it's called, I did buy a Guardian, and I think it was back when it was still a broadsheet.
And by any chance, did James O'Brien have an article in there that he didn't like Brexit?
Well, this would have been like 2001, so probably
All
not.
right, okay. All right. Well, he didn't like something. What wouldn't he have liked in 2001? The Tories. No, it was Labour, wasn't it, in 2001?
I think back then he wouldn't like
Oh, he would-
people that were
Hold on.
mean to.
There's a Japanese prank here called Kancho. Kancho is a prank performed by clasping the hands together in the shape of a finger gun and poking an unsuspecting anus.
Right. Not only is that a prank, right? But there's this game series called Kancho or something like that in Japan. It's popular in Korea as well. And what it is it's an arcade cabinet, and there's this orifice you put your fingers into, and you've got various people like your mother-in-law, the boss, school teacher, and what you've got to do is jab your fingers up as hard as possible, and the game rewards you points for like how hard you've pressed on the pressure plate, and then let's see if I can.
Do we need to shut down Japan until we've had a thorough investigation and found out what's going on?
Let's see if I can find this out. I think it's called Kancho.
They do all that. The thing is, they do all that, but haven't they got good electrical goods? Is that right?
Yeah. During his acceptance speech at the 1997 Venice Film Festival, legendary actor and director Beat Takeshi Kitano is said to have claimed that he had followed a fortune teller's advice to clean his toilet daily, thereby bringing him good fortune. There is even a famous song, Toire no Kamisama, by Japanese singer Umera Kana, A 10-minute epic ballad dedicated to her grandmother's earnest belief in the beautiful goddess of the toilet. In 2010, it was one of the most viewed YouTube videos in Japan.
I bet it was.
So, what else have we got here?
I'm trying to find footage of
Hang
this
on a minute. If I'm
Cancho
not
thing.
mistaken as well, hasn't kiddie porn just quite recently been outlawed over there? Recently. Is that right?
Only recent? I don't know.
Well, I think so. No, in the past 2 years, not like.
Dom,
Oh my
not
god!
like-
Dom, you know when you've been canchoed. Do you remember the old Tango adverts?
I've just
Yeah.
seen an arcade game I really want to play. It's called Super Table Flip, right? All it is, it's a game where people are like sat at a table having dinner, and the arcade controller is a table, and you flip it up, and that's the game.
Some shit.
So,
Super Table. Yeah,
so
but
we've got
that's like saying, those games where you punch a pad and it measures how hard you've punched it is shit. It's just,
Right,
it's
they
one of
are.
those. Oh right, the game's not. Right,
Doom,
okay.
It's my kind of game, isn't it?
Cancho's not called that. It's called Bunga Bunga. Right, so the game is
No,
called
Bunga-
Bunga
You'd be,
Bunga.
you'd be
Bunga
warned
is-
about that.
Bunga Bunga is Italian. That's
I
what
know.
that's Thingy's parties, isn't it? What's his name?
R-
The Italian politician.
Oh my god. Somebody's done an arcade long play, and it's 8 minutes and 47 seconds long of completing Bunga Bunga, the arcade game.
That's weird that it's called Bunga Bunga.
Right, I'll post it in the
Who
4TM
was
words.
the well dodgy Italian politician? At the
Um,
Bunga parties.
Berlusconi.
What was his fucking name?
Berlusconi.
Berlusconi.
No, Berlusconi.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not well dodgy.
Russell,
I mean, he
Russell
described
Howard kept going on about him.
Russell
Russell
as an
Howard-
unfuckable lardass. I mean,
Everything was Berlusconi. Everything that was always his punchline.
Russell Howard.
But
Russell
look,
sorry.
Howard. Russell
did that
Howard
come
would
out
know.
really garbled for you as well? Because
Yeah,
it
but I
sounds
just
like
about
the
understood what he
Woodwoses.
said.
The Woodwoses were jumbling up all the order of his
But
words.
Russell Howard is our foremost comedian, isn't he?
What he used to be. But what's happened to him? We haven't seen him recently, have we? He used to be on
Well,
TV a lot, but I can't
pretending
admit.
to be 16 wears a bit thin when you're 45, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Going on a
literally
bit
his bit. He pretends,
Berlusconi.
hello, I'm 16 and I don't know any better. That's
I'm
what
16,
leftist-
my mum did this,
Bum,
Berlusconi.
wank.
Yeah. Nigel
Yeah, I got
Farage,
funny eyes.
the Islamic Reagans, am I right?
Margaret Thatcher
yeah.
was a bit rubbish, wasn't she?
Looks like something Berlusconi would have done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Berlusconi.
So there's a Buddhist deity called Usama Moyo. He's one of several
Osama bin
Moyo
Laden.
or deities with the ability to purify the impure. Usama Moyo
No.
has his very own temple in Aizu City, more like Aizawa City, am I right? Shizuoka Prefecture. Mayotoku Ji Temple is dedicated to the Torei no Kamisama. Visitors pray for good digestive health by stepping over a symbolic squat toilet, and also pray to be spared from sexually transmitted diseases and reproductive issues. Allegedly, one can purchase underpants-shaped talismans, presumably to hang in one's own personal Torei no Kamisama temple. Usama Moyo
If you were to use a squat toilet, you'd have to take your shirt and pants completely off, wouldn't you? And have to put in a different area of the room.
Is this like a Hindu part of Japan?
It's just they've got an unhealthy obsession with toilets, a lot like the Germans.
Maybe that's why the Germans said they're spiritually Aryan.
Yeah. Usama Moyo is not only able to purify the
The
toilet,
Germans
though,
came over to inspect their hole in the floor toilet, and it's like, oh, this is brilliant. You've got the poo inspection shelf, but it's the entire floor.
and also, can you put the glass over the top of the toilet?
They invented the coffee table. It was the Japs who thought you could put some glass in it.
Yeah. No, I'd say it was a German that probably said that when they went over there. He said, so part of his purifying stuff is he can turn a female fetus into a male. A belief circulated during the Heian period where sons were venerated above daughters. Thus, the link between the toilet and childbirth becomes a great deal less murky. Grim.
Wow.
So, Usama
This just sounds really
Maya
wrong.
was said to have many arms, 6 or 8 depending on the depiction, one of which carried a great red spear. Oh, right up the jacksie. The tale travelled and mutated as folklorists want to do, until in some regions it became the blind spear-wielding Kawaya no Kami. Since the Japanese toilets
Blind spear chucking Kaio no Kami.
So since the Japanese toilets were in those days entirely of the squatting type, one can imagine the kind of danger represented here. Oh, me chow fonts!
Oh, God. Was this like a big danger back in feudal Japan? Was there a lot of people stabbing each other up the?
Well, I suppose it's like that, you know, like the fear of the unknown, because like it's that dark hole, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's just instead of closets, Japanese people have like squat toilets, don't they?
Yeah.
It's just the dark hole, isn't it? Unless you got.
Well, I guess they're not scared of monsters under the bed when your bed's a futon, so you just sleep on the mattress on the floor.
If you think about it, you're hanging your ass out over a squat toilet. Like that's like the ultimate in being, you know,
it's not it's not a comfortable position, is it?
Yeah. Well, not so much the position. It's just the fact that you're over there, arse spread, like everything's available to some monster or something that's hiding down the deep dark.
Anything that just wants to grab out, yeah.
Yeah.
And worse than that,
go for it.
I got a feeling they didn't have S-bends in them as well, so you know all the smells would have been there.
Yeah. Oh,
it's
okay.
gross.
Did you know this? What is it? So, with manga, anime, video games, and even cute mascots paying no tribute to their spooky forefathers, not an insignificant proportion of the 1,000+ Pokemon currently in circulation are directly inspired by yokai. One might go as far to say the entire concept of Pokemon likely owes its genesis to Japan's rich taxonomy of yokai.
Right, so I know about this because the sort of for osmosis this has been yokai. I think it's a Japanese word for demon, right? And there's this Pokemon called Hypno. Now Hypno, he looks a bit like Fagin, and he looks a bit like Watto actually, and he's called Hypno. And what he does is mind control, and Usuria's attacks. He attacks your credit score, and I'm just like, what did Nintendo of Japan mean by this? You know, they got a yokai Pokemon creature here who attacks your credit score using his vile, I can't say that, sorcery. The count.
He puts the Sheeny curse on you, is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, the one which means you get an unfavourable rate on your mortgage.
May you live in interesting times, isn't it? Isn't that the curse?
May you live with a 30.9% APR. Yeah, it's just like, what did Nintendo mean by this? Well, why is there a Pokemon called Hypno?
So, there are multiple yokai historically associated with toilets. The most famous is the turtle-like Kappa, accused in many prefectures of harassing people in the latrine. The river-going Kappa likely finds its mischievous origins in the Kawaya, a type of primitive toilet built over a river or stream. A Kappa might viciously grope unwary bottoms or pull their victims into the water with them, where they are drowned so the Kappa can eat their liver. Worse still, the Kappa may come after your Shiritokama, a kind of magical ball containing a person's soul, which is located in their anus.
There's a really weird
that's not
story
very good,
about
because you could literally shit your own soul out if you had a bad enough curry.
Is it like a snapping turtle? It's like a snapping turtle, I imagine. Then,
I
isn't
should
it?
imagine, yeah.
There's a story of the Kappa, right, where it sounds very similar to the Chupacabra, where it sucks your soul out from your spine, but also it doesn't have the top of its skull, so its brain's exposed.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's a feature.
Fortunately, there are many ways to circumvent a Kappa attack, so remember this, lads, if you're ever under a Kappa attack. From bowing
put your
deeply
fingers in its
greeting,
brain.
the Kappa is a polite sort of miscreant and will bow back,
Put your finger in
thereby
his arse.
thereby spilling the water contained in its dish atop its head and rendering it immobile. Is this what you're talking about?
That's
then,
it.
Hobbit? Yeah.
Yeah. It's not got a skull. It's got a dish filled with water.
To offering its favourite food, the humble cucumber. Also found in the annals of Japanese toilet history is the kurate, literally black hand, a disembodied hand which rises from the toilet to stroke unguarded bottoms.
I think it's probably
like
the brown
Jimmy Savile,
hand.
then.
But
A bit like Jimmy Savile.
I'm sure it's the brown hand, not the black hand.
Yeah.
It just looks black in low light.
Its origins are less clear than the Kappa, and it's nowhere near as ubiquitous. It's typically found in stories from the Noto Peninsula of western Japan, where it has a tendency to menace the wives of samurai. Nonetheless, the hand rising from the toilet motif has certainly been impactful, occurring in not only the story of Hanako-san, but also in 3 separate games in The Legend of Zelda. Here, the toilet hand reaches out from the bowl and asks the game's protagonist Link for toilet paper, rewarding him if he provides it. There's also the Kainade, a similar ghostly hand lurking in squat toilets, which is sometimes said to appear solely on Setsubun, which is a festival held on the day before spring begins. Some versions of the Akamanto story blame the Kakinade in these versions. The grisly end is replaced by the kaki poop. In these versions, its grisly end is replaced by the hand of the chosen colour rising to stroke the students behind. Is stroking your bum bad in Japan then?
I'm not sure. But the Kappa, though, that's also a sportswear brand popular with chavs, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not just a Japanese toilet demon. Yeah. Maybe that's where the
next
name
we've
comes
got
from.
the Kanbari no Yodo, a kind of bizarre, perverted priest-like being which lurks outside the toilets on New Year's Eve and peeks through the window. The Kanburi Moyodo is said to bring bad luck or inflict constipation, but there's a version of the tale which suggests it can be summoned, similar to Hanako-san.
That's stage fright, isn't it?
In order to bring good
stage
fortune.
fright if I knew that was lurking outside.
Yeah, if a person enters a toilet on New Year's Eve at the hour of the ox, between 1 and 3, and chants Kanbari no Yodo 3 times, a human head will appear in the toilet. As soon as you not run away in terror, you must then take that head,
Turtle's head,
place it in the left sleeve of your kimono, take it back out, whereupon it has turned into a gold coin. One wonders how this clause was not first discovered. Rounding out our cohort is the filth-licking Akaname, a goblin-like beast which exclusively inhabits dirty bathrooms. It doesn't menace humans, but instead using its long tongue to lap up muck and grime. It does, however, spread disease, so a clean bathroom is essential should you wish to keep the Akaname at bay.
I'm not surprised if it does that.
It's a bit gross, isn't it?
Well, it's vile, actually. But, you know.
Oh,
I think these are just sort of like...
So yokai means pocket monster. Pokemon comes from... Sorry, yokai means monster. Pokemon comes from pocket monster.
I do remember there was a kung fu expert called Yoki back in the 70s. But maybe that's where it comes from. Monster. Yeah, quite threatening. But toilet monster, not so much.
Oh, I just correction for the audience. Bunga Bunga is a game made in Korea, but it is popular in Japan.
Yeah, just straighten that out. Make sure that wasn't a racial term you were using there, Hobbit. We don't want to get
Bunga Bunga.
again.
Oh,
yeah, that one. All right,
Bunga.
Don't say it again. It's all right. It's, you know.
I'm reading the name of
the next bit's just summing up, so we can do some other stuff if you want.
I mean, it's the name of the arcade game. You know, it's like
Bunga Bunga's what Berlusconi used to have. He used to have his Bunga Bunga parties, didn't he?
That's what Russell Howard said, anyway.
Yeah.
What? So you say he had one of these Korean arcade cabinets, and he just like invited people over, just like, hey, check out this game.
Russell Howard says. Russell Howard says it was all about ghosts and touching bums.
There's something to do with his mum as well.
Seeing as Bunga Bunga is literally the Korean equivalent of Kancho, then it is about touching bums. More importantly, it's more about like jabbing your fingers in someone's arsehole as hard as possible.
I should imagine Berlusconi probably got into a bit of that.
Well, I mean, it's it's a funny Japanese prank you can show somebody by jamming your finger in their bumhole as hard as possible.
Ooh.
Well, one of the opponents in Bunga Bunga is a prostitute. Another one's a child molester. Your mother-in-law. Your mother-in-law looks like William Shakespeare for some reason.
Turned into Les Dawson all of a sudden.
I think I've got that game on a MAME collection.
Yeah, but how are you going to play it without the controller?
I don't know. Yeah, I think that the child molester thing kind of makes me remember, because I was kind of flicking through them all, seeing what they were all about, and I do remember that one about I thought the child molester bit was a bit weird.
Well,
It was all in Japanese, so I didn't even understand what the game was anyway.
Actually, it's in Korean.
Okay then.
Yeah, actually.
That's why I didn't understand it as being Japanese then.
Yeah. What other opponents have you got? He's not going through them in order. Ex-girlfriend? That's somebody you can jab your fingers in the bumhole as hard as possible.
Yeah.
Try not to break your fingers as you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to hit the coccyx, because then you're in banging trouble then, aren't you?
I don't really know what the objective of this game is. As far as I know, I think it's just a variant on the arcade game where you punch a paddle, except you're using your fingers to jab a pressure plate.
Yeah.
And again, this game's really popular in Japan, where they have all these story about yokai that come and give you bum a lick.
And you can buy panties in vending machines.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the Japs have got they're different to us. I think we can say that. Like, I was watching this video earlier today, and it was like this. It was Japanese mechanics, and they're repairing this engine, and it's got a lot of carbon deposits in it. I think it was a petrol engine.
Is there a glass coffee table involved by any chance?
Well, it must have been a petrol engine, because it had spark plugs in it. You don't get spark plugs in a diesel. And when I was watching it, I'm just like, they were using that, that silly twee music the Japs are fond of. And I'm just thinking that this isn't something like, if it was in America,
like the stuff the Yakuza use in their game consoles.
Yeah, pretty much like the Yakuza put in their Nintendo devices.
Is it the one where the there's three well-hung mechanics, and then the girl brings her car in a bit repaired, but she hasn't got the money to pay for it.
I don't know what part of YouTube.com you're on, but I was watching this on YouTube, and it was literally just three guys, and they're taking the exhaust out of this mini truck, and they take the engine apart to show the city deposits.
Yeah,
exactly.
No, this was on a website called
YouTube.com.
No, Pornhub.
I think that's a bit different, you see. So they're showing the spark plugs and everything.
Isn't it a rabbi that owns Pornhub, or is that different?
Yeah, it is. But MindGeek.com is, is like something to do with Israel. Never mind. Not important, really.
Rabbi, what's his name? Rabbi Shmuley sells dildos with his daughter, doesn't he?
Well,
he sold a dildo to Jill Dando, didn't he?
It's a father-daughter business.
Yeah, Jan's dildo.
Oh,
hang on. Yeah,
I think there's something to be said. It's like, in many cultures, you've got, like, everybody where there's machines, there's a need for mechanics. Like, if it was a show in America, they all be like, oh, it's a bit tricky, and they'd be playing, like, some crappy rock music.
Yeah.
And if it was in England, they'd be like, oh, it's a bit tricky. Shall I have a cup of tea? Yeah, they'd have a cup of tea. And they'd be like, oh, it's a bit tricky, but I've had a cup of tea, so I think I can fix it. Yeah. Whereas in Japan, it's like, yes, fixed it now. Twee music.
Yeah.
It literally, like, it's Mario Kart music whilst they're stripping apart an engine and cleaning the pistons.
We fixed it now, let's go and buy a pair of panties from a vending machine.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, how else are you going to relax after a hard day at work, Ian?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So the ghosts and what is our view on the Japanese toilet ghosts then? Hobbit.
They seem a bit far.
Yeah, a bit far-fetched. or is it
This
all
is something which is
old
very
wives'
interesting to the Japanese people, and it tells a lot about that because, like I said, the folklore of stuff. Like, do the Japs have an equivalent of the gnome? Because I don't think they do. And they've got stories about dragons, and I find that interesting because their story about dragons are different to our story about dragons, and I think we're dealing with two different creatures.
Mm.
Or maybe we're dealing with the same creature, but we treat them differently.
Mm.
Like over here, we tend to know
Well, we
that
stab
they're.
ours and they get a bit angry about it, don't they?
Yeah, well, you see, we know they work with the devil,
Yeah.
and over there, I mean, like
Well, they
I
don't
even
work with the
heard.
devil over there. They're quite good. Some are good, some
Well,
bad, aren't they?
I heard in
some ugly?
over in this was a David Icke conspiracy, by the way, that the reason there's such
Dom says he
a
can't wait for Indiana Jones and the glass coffee.
yeah,
The
yeah,
thing
so
is,
I
David Icke probably thinks that dragons or they're lizards, aren't they? And underneath they're humans. Lizards are actually humans underneath, and humans are actually lizards underneath.
so I
That's
actually
how fucked up the guy is.
I've read the bit about the royal family, and he was saying, look, they're not humans; they're actually reptilians. The dinosaurs didn't die out; they evolved. They've been here for millions of years before we even existed.
Like in Doctor Who. Why
I'll be honest.
Why do they
I'll be
make
honest.
the
I
stories
preferred.
like that of Doctor Who?
Well, it's not
David
just
Icke.
Doctor Who. Star Trek Voyager did the same thing as well, where like there's this
but
really
But
advanced.
the one in Doctor Who was a lesbian, wasn't it?
I like.
I think they're all lesbians in Doctor Who now, aren't they?
I'll go on the level with you, right? I know there's Daleks in Doctor Who, and that interests me because it's like, oh, how do you do that voice? And I asked my uncle, and he told me about ring modulation,
Put it in
and
the
like,
cuddy.
and he got me interested in synthesis as well because I was like, oh, what's this ring modulation? So he taught me about the basis of
Put it in
how
the
synthesizers do these
Put
things,
it in
and
the cuddy.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Well, the Daleks are all bent in current Doctor Who, aren't they? In the newer version.
yeah, but
Is that
everything's
right? They're
gay
all
in current Doctor Who because Clive Barker writes it, and he was just like,
Davros-
what if
Davros
Doctor
is a
Who was
boyfriend.
gay and had
Davis.
AIDS all the time? Oh, Russell T Davies, Clive Barker, they're both bunders. Anyway, it's like, look, if all you got's a
Doctor
dildo,
is
everything.
trans, isn't it?
If all you got's a dildo, everything looks like an arsehole. So it's just you know how when you've got a hammer, everything looks like a nail. It's that's why I'm not interested in Doctor Who because it's like, look, I wasn't interested in Queer as Folk, and I'm not interested in Queer as Folk, but in the TARDIS.
Yeah.
The turd
It's-
is more like.
Yeah.
It's not so anyway. David
Yeah.
Icke, regarding reptilians, you know, they've
Well, I'll
got
tell you what,
shape-changing
you know,
abilities, and
on a
they.
serious note,
Mm,
let's boycott Doctor Who. Let's not watch it anymore. How about that?
mate, I haven't watched it in the past 20
Let's make a
years.
stand.
Ian's doing a topical joke, Hobbit. Doctor Who's been cancelled. It's gone for the foreseeable future.
Is it? Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Did
good.
you not know? I thought you knew, Ian.
I didn't know. I thought it was all.
Yeah,
Full of bummers these days,
can't boycott it because it's been cancelled.
Is this
No,
a case
well-
of you can't fire me, I quit?
Yeah, I think it's something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You can't stop
Well.
watching. We're not making anymore.
So
Tell
anyway,
you what, I've not seen
this
it. I've
goes on
not
to
seen it
say
since
that the dragons in China rule everything, and that they've completely like absorbed the souls of all Chinese people, a bit like Lo Pang in Big Trouble in Little China, and that's why the Chinese just sort of like watch creatures being boiled alive and go, "Ha ha, yes, very nice. Me eat that now."
Yeah,
Yeah, careful.
yeah,
But the song
Well,
"Turning
I'm just-
Japanese" was about wanking, wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, well, the
vinegar
Japs,
strokes.
yeah, they're
Yeah,
not quite the
the
same
face
as
you
the
pull.
Chinese.
The face you pull when you're about to shoot off.
Yeah.
That's why you don't hear it on the radio anymore.
But didn't the Vapors come out and go, it's absolutely not about that, you're all making it up?
No, I think they came out and said it is about that.
No, I'm
I think
pretty sure
initially they
didn't.
denied it, but then if you looked at the lyrics, then it was quite clearly about that. Also, Jester's shoes as well is about that, which is the shoes that curl up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that wasn't a song. That was just something in the Propanosaurus, which is all right. So yeah, so that's the hot topic tonight, isn't it? Pretty good.
The real meaning for decades. Hold on, where's this?
We're still on this. Go on
No,
then.
I'm not leaving this one. I'm not leaving this one, Ian.
All right, so hopefully this is a good one so
For
far.
decades, fans have been convinced that the Vapors, a new wave act out of England,
Oh
wrote
right,
a song about masturbation. That's certainly the consensus of contributors who provided their interpretation to song facts. Similarly, music historian John Kuttner suggested on his blog that there's an element of ugly stereotypes about Asians in the lyrics, writing, "Turning Japanese refers to the Oriental facial experience people pull at the moment of climax." One man who can say for certain what Turning Japanese about is the man who wrote the song. David Fenton, as he told Songwriting in 2021, he had the melody, said he needed lyrics. Then in the middle of the night he woke up and had that Turning Japanese line, so I wrote it down and fell asleep again. He said, adding, it could have been anything, could have ended up as Turning Portuguese. So there you go.
No,
So
I don't
nothing
believe
to do
him.
with Asians
Turning
or facial
Japanese, I don't
expressions.
think so.
No,
Certainly
he
has
says
nothing to do
that.
with self-love. It was weird when people
says
started
that.
saying it was about masturbation. I can't claim that one.
Right, he wrote, but he wrote it in the 1970s. But it was all right. You could say that.
As for what Turning Japanese is about, Fenton says it's simply a love song about a relationship that ended. All he was left with was a photograph of his beloved and an empty feeling. So there you go, you fucking perverts. It's not.
What's that got to do with Japanese, though?
Because
I can see.
Because
I can see the wanking connotation, but not
because his eyes were close together because he was crying. His eyes were closed up because he was crying.
No, that doesn't wash with me. I think the other. No,
No,
I think.
No, the
songwriter
said it's
I
not.
think,
so that's that.
Yeah, but I think in 2025 he has to say that. That's the thing, isn't it? He has to. Whereas in 1979 or whatever.
Now, are they?
I know, but the other thing, though. It's connecting it to stereotyping, isn't it? That's the thing. And, yeah, right. No one likes yellow face, but in this case, it was
Wanking face.
Taking it a step further. So, wanking face. Who wants to be known as that?
Yeah. Hmm? Who does indeed?
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. The Vapors. But that was their own. No, I don't think they had another hit after that.
I think that was their only hit, wasn't it? And they're trying to turn it back on that one, aren't they?
Well, they have to. They have no choice. Even though you said it's not about.
It's not. Just about,
it clearly
just about
is.
The end. Just about the end of a love affair. That was it. And all he's left with is a photograph. Just like They Live is just about Reaganomics, nothing else. Just Reaganomics.
Oh, he finished his love affair, and then all he was left with was his right hand.
Yeah.
That was his love affair thereafter, till he met someone else.
Mm.
It was a bit wanking.
There's some great people in that band. David Fenton, lead, Howard Smith, Edward Bazalgette.
I've heard of him.
That's a weird name, isn't it? Oh,
yeah.
They released their first single, Prisoners, at the end of 1979, but it failed to chart. Second single, Turning Japanese, is the song for which they're best remembered. The track was produced by the Jams producer Vic Coppersmith Heaven and reached number 3 in the UK.
And in those days, you would have of the Pops. You'd have the Sex Pistols, you'd have the Vapors, and then you'd have someone like the Wurzels or Boney M. It was a weird program. I was watching a thing on it today about how fucked up it was. You'd have that kind of lineup, something for the teenagers and the goths, and then also something for the grandparents as well, Renee and Renata, that kind of shit. So yeah, it was pretty good. I don't know if that goes on these days. I'm out of touch, to be honest. What's in the hit parade these days? Or do they even have a hit parade? I don't
I've
know.
got no idea.
What are the youngsters
do
like?
Do kids still tape it off the radio, or tape the top 40 off?
I don't know. Do kids like the rap singers anymore on the top of the pop?
Do the kids like the rap singers, Hobbit? You're in touch with the Ute.
Yeah, you like the youngsters, don't you? Hobbit.
Where do you even go to listen to new music?
You like young children, don't you? Hobbit.
Yeah, yeah. I'm Jimmy Savile.
You've been
Ian
in trouble for that, haven't you?
Accusing me of that. So,
But you know what
where do you even listen to new music these days?
What do you listen to? What are the kids into?
Well, where do you find new music? That's what I'm asking.
Do you want to know the UK top 40? Shall I put UK top?
Yeah, let's have a look. Let's have the countdown. Who's number one? Is it the Wombles?
Right, official singles chart. 6th to the 12th of June. Oh, Ordinary by Alex Warren.
Never heard of him.
No. Love Me Not by Raven Lene. Pink Pony Club by Chapel Roan. Undressed by Somber. Family Matters by Sky Newman. Just Keep Watching Tate McRae.
Hang on, whoa. Are you counting down from number 40 here?
No, I've gone for number 1 up for some reason.
Yeah, exactly. Who's number 1? Who did you say was number 1?
Number 1 is Ordinary by Alex Warren.
Now, who's that? Does anyone know who that is?
Nope.
Alex Warren.
Calvin Harris.
Is he one of the rap?
Calvin Harris has got one in the top 10, and so is Ed Sheeran.
Calvin Harris.
Yeah. Oh, Somber. Somber's got 2 in the top 10, and Alex Warren feat Jelly. Alex Warren feat Jelly Roll is at number 10. And that's
a Duran Duran there and Spandau Ballet.
Nope, there's no Spandau Ballet.
This is how I remember
no
it.
Bilk.
Well, that's Hobbit's era, isn't it?
What,
Purple Lacquer Bilk.
Yeah.
But no, Duran Duran, Spandau Ballet, Howard Jones. He was always in the hit parade.
Yeah.
I've
never heard of any of these artists. Nope.
What about the Nick Kershaw? Is the Nick Kershaw there?
No Nick Kershaw. No Giorgio Moroder. The official chart is done with Jack Saunders now. Do you know him?
Never heard of him.
No, but, he's a 30-year-old man who's got bright red hair, and he's probably pretending to be 20.
Yeah, and he's probably got a skateboard or something. But what about how do they do it though these days? Because it used to be singles, didn't it? However many singles
one in the top 40. God, these people are rubbish, aren't they? Like
it's a bugger, isn't it?
Like, again.
But the thing is though, Woolworths would put forward the number of singles they sold in a week to the chart people.
Yeah.
And HMV and whoever, I don't know. And then they would then the ones who sold the most singles would be number 1. Like Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Relax, whatever. You know, that's how it worked. These days though, innit? You got streaming and all that shit and downloads and all that shit and innit?
They probably go off what the kids listen to Spotify, don't they?
Yeah, the rap singers. I don't know. I'm lost.
The new top 40, Ian, if you want to know, is out in 20 hours, 52 minutes, and 50 seconds.
Well, yeah, I'll definitely be
you're
tuning into that
glued to your
on a Sunday night with Simon Bates doing the countdown, and you listen to it in the bar.
No, Simon Bates was better at our tune, weren't he?
Yeah, thinking. Oh, you listen to it in the bar on a Sunday night.
Remember Our Price? Do you remember Our Price? Do you?
I remember Our Price.
Do you remember going into Our Price to buy records? Do you remember that?
What were all that about? Bolton, weddings in the 70s, dancing, garlic bread. What were all that about?
Yeah. Hey, remember
what a cunt.
To party
what a shit comedian. Yeah, I was sorry.
Hobbit's gone quiet.
I know.
Well, I was just thinking of that song. They used it in the advert, On and Ariston.
I think. Oh yeah, that was a long time ago.
Wasn't
that for batteries?
Wasn't that the RoboCop? Which advert used the RoboCop computer game music?
No, it was cassette tapes, wasn't it? It was. I think it was. Wasn't it videotapes?
There's an advert that used the one of the RoboCop computer game music on it. I'll have to find. That might have been the Ariston advert.
That's yeah. I think we're out of touch, isn't it? This is like we're like the old men now,
Yeah.
and we thought we were the youth, didn't we? But we're not. We're not. We're the old men now, and we
I'm
thought it was
literally Abe
better.
Simpson in that bit where he says, "I was with it once, but then it changed, and
Mm,
now whatever it is, I'm no longer with. It will
it's true.
happen to you."
I'll be honest though. I got to admit, I do think it's probably in terms of
Oh shit,
storage
Hobbit!
media.
It was the Ariston.
Sorry.
It was the Ariston advert that used the RoboCop music from the ZX Spectrum computer game version.
Yes, that's what I meant. It's the yeah. That I was just trying to think. What's the song? It was because it's da 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 da. Yeah,
It was the Spectrum computer game music.
yeah. It was actually quite a good song.
Yeah, there you go. There's the advert.
Yeah.
As well.
And on, and Ariston.
Remember
Yeah,
tapes and phone
days.
booths? What was that all about, Ian?
But I got to
That's
admit, though,
literally the
seeing the end of tapes, videotapes, cassette tapes, CD media, I much prefer it these days. They were a pain in the fucking ass.
What
I
about
do
vinyl?
prefer.
Big fan of vinyl, Ian?
Oh, that as well. That's just pretentious. I used to know some DJs and stuff. I used to do vinyl, even though you didn't need to. And yeah, all right. There's a bit of, I used to have a mess around on the deck. I was nothing great, but I used to it was a bit of a pleasure to play vinyl music and mix, have two turntables and mix them and but it was only a novelty. In terms of convenience, what we've got today is much better. You don't have to have a fucking stack of fucking whatever it was, videotapes, which hardly had anything on them. So you can have you just got all on whatever, all on your MP3s and whatever you've got these days.
Lady Gaga did
Yeah.
Abracadabra. Is that a cover version of Steve Miller?
Well, I know Steve Miller did it. I didn't like his version. I don't know Lady Gaga's music, but I know for a fact if I heard it, I wouldn't like it. So, and yeah, I don't know any. Couldn't name any of her songs. I know she's some kind of singer. I don't think she's one of
and the
these.
Machine. Is that Oh no, I'm thinking of that other geezer.
No,
Florence and the Machine. Whose mum is the lead singer from Florence and the Machine?
I don't know. But I was in work one night, and this guy had Glastonbury on, and we were watching it. And I said, "Oh, this is shit, isn't it?" Like, I don't know who he was on. They had a load of crap on it. And then he goes, "Oh, Florence and the Machine are on next. They're good. You'll like them." And I watched them, and they were shit. So, I don't know. Am I out of touch or what?
I thought she had a famous mum.
going on?
I must be thinking of someone else.
Maybe she has. Maybe her mum is Janet Ellis, something like that. Is it?
No, that's Sophie Ellis Bextor. Do you remember? When she had to apologise for? She had to apologise and leave Blue Peter because she was an unmarried mother. Do you remember that?
And she said the N word as well. So
Yeah.
she had to do two things and took cocaine off the tortoise. So
Do you reckon she murdered the tortoise then?
she snorted cocaine off the tortoise's shell. But yeah, there was some good stuff. Karen Keaton is dead, isn't she?
Yeah, she died
That one.
ages ago. She was still.
Yeah, but I was
she
just.
died.
Yeah, she wasn't bad, was she? She was Gloria Honeyford's daughter, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, remember she was on there. She thought, "Ooh, hello."
Remember Blue
Who's
Peter?
that?
You seen that clip of Blue Peter going around on the Twitters?
Is that the one with Joey Deacon? Or
No, it's.
am I thinking of?
It's.
Oh no, that's Rosie Jones.
I owe blood. I owe blood. I's going to show you some signs, blood.
It's
blood.
an interesting story about fairies. I've never heard of. I think it's one of those like. Again, I was saying about interesting mythologies. Maybe the Japs can give us an insight into this.
Yeah.
Fairies cannot stand cold iron because the nails of the crucifixion were made of it, and the metal was thereby sanctified by our Lord's blood.
What is cold iron?
Well, it's iron that's not hot.
Oh, okay. Then I just wondered if it was some sort of.
I'm sure there's a connotation there. There is not. It means something else, like hot metal. Hot metal
Either way,
means newspaper.
fairies can't stand it. They don't like Christ's wounds, so
Iron's quite a big thing in folklore, isn't it? Witches don't like iron, do they?
And also, iron is Cockney rhyming slang for gay. Iron hoof.
What?
Yeah,
Iron. If you say,
iron-
if you're
he's
in
an
the
iron
East
hoof.
End of London, you say, oh, look at him over there, he's an iron. That means that they're gay because he's iron hoof. Hoof. Kind of rhymes, doesn't it? That's what it means anyway.
Yeah, because it's iron and salt are kind of two of the main ones, aren't they?
I went to Brighton last weekend. There were irons everywhere.
Creatures affected by iron. Demons. Touching an iron will burn most demons. A cherry. I don't know.
What is a demon, though? This is the thing. We need to define this. What is a demon in your book?
Wendigos can be killed by iron. Fairies are weakened by iron, although powerful ones like leprechauns can shrug it off. Ghosts. Shooting or stabbing a ghost with iron. I think this is... I think no, that's the supernatural myth.
You can't kill a ghost.
That's
Ghost
what-
is already dead. Nah, I think we're fucked, aren't we? So what? Any more about toilets? So that's what that's what this is about. Iron toilets.
Iron toilets. It's an iron toilet. Double fucked.
Yeah.
Okay, what else? I'm trying to find out what's got a weakness to iron, but iron and
Vampires.
folklore, that's better. So cold iron.
Yeah.
Right. So cooked iron. So cooked iron with raw iron being called raw iron in Europe. Cast iron remains. I'm trying to find out what cold iron is. Cold iron is not to be confused with cold ironing. So, cold iron is historically believed to repel, contain, or harm ghosts, fairies, witches, or other malevolent supernatural creatures. The belief concerning an island. Cold iron is a substitute name used for various animals and incidences considered lucky for. Why won't it tell me what cold iron is?
Well, this is a bit weird. I've never heard of cold iron before. Where are you getting this from? What's this? Where are you getting this from?
It's just some random on Twitter said it.
I'm a bit lost with this cold iron. I've heard of know.
Apparently, burying an iron knife under the entrance to your house is alleged to keep witches from entering.
I'm wondering if it's one of those sayings, like you know how what's his name from Dad's Army was talking about cold steel.
Yeah, no, I think
that's right.
I think it's part of the process. So it's got to be a specific type of iron, I'd say.
Corporal Jones and the cold steel was his bayonet, wasn't it? So
well, they don't like it up, do they? The fuzzy wuzzies.
Exactly. Well, you can't say fuzzy wuzzies. No, you can't say fuzzy wuzzies. No, it's true.
Surrounding a cemetery with an iron fence was thought to contain the souls of the dead. So now you know why cemeteries are surrounded by wrought iron fences.
I haven't really noticed. I think some maybe, but I've not something I've really significantly noticed. I'm sure not all of them are. So, but yeah, nice. It's good stuff.
I'm just thinking of the time, and he is a yokai, right? Master Yoda went into a K-hole, and he's been there for 500 years. That's why he talks like that.
This tickles him, Ian. It's the funniest thing you've ever heard.
What, K-holes?
Yeah, but
Yoda's been in a K-hole for 500 years. That's why he talks like that.
And that's what, he was screaming too. It's just the way Yoda's screaming. I don't know why it's so funny.
Well, you sure you're not in a K-hole at the moment?
Oh no, I wouldn't be laughing if I was in a K-hole, but Master Yoda's
I'm not
been
sure
in
if
one
I've
for
been. What
500
is it? I took too much ketamine one night, and I don't know what a K-hole is, but I might have been in one night.
Were you comatose?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's a K-hole.
Because the thing is, you're not supposed. When you take it, you're supposed to have a little bit, aren't you? You're supposed to have put it on the end of a key. My mate gave me a rack of some, and I thought, well, this is like cocaine. I'll just line it up. So I did.
Mhm.
I took it all, and then that just completely fucked me up. And then
cold iron is a poetic and archaic term for iron, referring to the fact that it feels cold to the touch.
Dom, in response to your question, I don't think I can say the title out on YouTube, but yes, I have. And that both parts 1 and 2 used to be on YouTube. That's a yokai whose name cannot be uttered in a polite conversation.
Well, it's all good. Right. Well, it's been good for me. So I gotta head.
We done? Yeah, I think we're done.
We could well be. So we gotta.
Yeah.
Okay, team. Hope you enjoyed the toilet talk.
Yeah.
Um,
Stay spooky, but hopefully not in the.
And remember, if you are going to go into a K-hole, don't go into a K-hole. Master Yoda's been in a K-hole for 500 years.
And also remember, if you are going to squat in the toilet, watch out for ghostly hands stroking your bum.
And
Oh, Dom says it's still on YouTube. Yes, what, part 1 and 2? Oh, Interdimensional Lizard says, say spooky.
Spooky.
Mm.
Okay then, right, that's it. We're done. Good night all.